and welcome to my books I'd like to reread video. I'm not someone who rereads books. It is not something I usually do. My TBR is large enough without me rereading books. But V.E. Schwab is about to start hosting a read-along for her Dark Shade of Magic series, which is one of my favourite series of all time. And it made me realise that I am going to be joining in with this, and that there is actually a couple of other books that I would like to reread at some point. So this is this video. First one I'm obviously mentioning is A Dark Shade of Magic, because that's what sparked this all off. This is obviously following Kel, Lila, Rye and Alucard as they are travelling through all four Londons and all of the chaos that happens throughout that and the magic and everything else. I won't really say much else about this. I'm just very excited for this, and actually when I am talking about this I am also talking about as well the Steel Prince series as well, which is the prequel comic book series that I will hopefully be reading this month before I start these ones, because those ones are set before this. Either way, very excited to go back into this world again. Remember how much I love Kel and Lila and everyone, and I'm just really excited to re-immerse myself back in this world again before Threads of Power comes out in September. Another one I have is Binti by Nnedi Okorafor. I read this a couple of years ago now as an ebook, and now I'm listening to it as an audiobook. The first time when I read it as an ebook, it didn't quite work for me, but to be fair, I'm reading a lot more sci-fi now, a lot more Afrofuturism and all of this kind of thing, so this time it's actually working a lot better for me. I'm thinking this may actually work better for me as a whole as audiobooks. So when I finish this one, I am also almost definitely going to be going on to the sequels as well and actually finishing out this series, because I'm actually really enjoying myself reading this the second time round. I also have The Princess Bride by William Goldman. Now, I was obsessed with the film when I was a kid. I'm not gonna lie, I'm still obsessed with the film. I love the film. The film is one of my favourite films of all time. I adore The Princess Bride. I also read the book when I was a kid, and I remember really enjoying myself. But then I turned into a teenager and then an adult who was very pessimistic and cynical about romance and all the rest of it, and I was like, no, I'm not reading it. I'm not reading it again, I don't do romance. But I've since read a few romances that I've actually enjoyed, actually including Kel and Lila, funnily enough. So I want to give this another go, see what I think of it as a hopefully slightly less cynical adult at the time, and just go into it with an open mind, see what I think about the romance in here, because this is technically like a fantasy romance, and compare it to the film, see which one I prefer. Probably the film, won't lie, but that's probably a nostalgia thing. Either way, I just really want to give this a reread at some point and see what I think about it. There is also Six of Crows by Leigh Bardugo, because obviously I've been watching Shadow and Bone and absolutely loving Shadow and Bone and being obsessed with it and falling back in love with the crows again, and like just loving all of that fantasy, heisty, chaotic goodness and all the rest of it, and just loving Wylan and Jesper and obviously all the other couples, and just loving Kaz Brekker like I usually do, all the rest of it. And I haven't reread the book since like 2018. Literally, like, I am obsessed with it. I have made my own merch as well, like this one that I sell on my Etsy store, linked down below as like a cheeky little plug there. And I just haven't reread the books in a very long time, so I would like to change that, because I really want to reread these and remember all those little details from Ketterdam, all the rest of it. And I may actually reread these to celebrate when the TV show gets announced, because if they do not make that Six of Crows spin-off show, I'm rioting. Essentially. Because I love it so much. The Crows deserve their spin-off so badly, and to see all of this realised on screen like it is, like hinted at and stuff like this throughout the like Shadow and Bone series, and I just want to see my Crows shine some more. So when that is officially announced, I may pick this up to celebrate. I like that plan, I'm going with it. I will reread this when the Six of Crows show is announced. That is the plan. I also have my giant Doctor Who collection. This is just 3 of the books that I read over and over again as a kid when I was an active rereader. Like, I would literally read the book, finish it, turn back to the first page again, and just read it again. Because I was obsessed. I am still obsessed. And this year marks the 60th anniversary of Doctor Who. And to celebrate that, Russell T Davies is back with David Tennant. And obviously, I am a David Tennant fangirl. I absolutely adore David Tennant. I literally sobbed my heart out when he left, and then I was crying for half an hour of that last episode of Doctor Who because he came back in. I was hysterical. Like, I was inconsolable for half an hour. I was sobbing with joy. Like, you have no idea how excited I was. I was just... I'm still not over it. I'm still not over it. I am absolutely not over it. I literally heard him say the words Alonzi the other day and I nearly burst into tears again in public. This is how obsessed I am. And it means that in November, when the 60th anniversary 3 specials come out starring David Tennant and Catherine Tate, I am going to be all over that. I'm going to be in my Whovian era. I'm going to be impossible. I apologise right now for anyone who meets me at Yelp or BookTube meetups, because I'm going to be in my Whovian era and I'm going to be ridiculous. But either way, I have all of these Doctor Who books. I have loads of my favourite ones from childhood, including The Doctor Trap, which is where a hunter is going after the Doctor because he is basically the ultimate trophy. We also have as well The Last Dodo, which is about the Museum of the Last Ones, which collects the last of every species and they're trying to get the Doctor. And then also The Sting of the Zygons, which is all about Zygons like they are in the 50th anniversary of Doctor Who. I've got a whole load of others on the other side of the room, some of which I've read, some of which I admittedly haven't, but I want to work through some of my old favourites and some of the ones I haven't read yet in literally 15 years, and just soak up all of that Doctor Who goodness, and obviously read some more stuff like my 10th Doctor archives over here and anything else I can get my hands on with Doctor Who. Essentially, expect my November TBR to just be Doctor Who and time travel. And I'm not even mad about it. I'm not even mad about it. I'm just excited. And I'm very, very, very excited to reread all of these and relive my childhood again, because it's just... I mean, I've still got bookmarks in them from, like, the last time I was reading them, and I know these so well I could probably open these books up at those bookmarks and start reading and just remember everything because I read them so many times as a kid. And I'm just excited to see what I think about them as a fully grown adult, but still an absolute obsessed Whovian. I'm very excited. I'm so excited. It's taking all my self-control to not read these now because I want a very Whovian November. So these are definitely getting reread this year, put it that way. I then also have Secret Invasion. This is by Brian Michael Bendis, and this is following the idea that the Marvel heroes have secretly been infiltrated by a bunch of shape-shifting Skrulls pretending to be various Marvel heroes and people in power, things like this. And this is obviously getting reread in time for the Secret Invasion TV show to come out at the end of June. I am so excited for that. I'm a little bit nervous on this reread because I only gave this 3 stars the first time I read it, but to be fair, I'm a lot more well versed in the Marvel universe now, so I think I'm going to just enjoy this that little bit more because I know a lot more about the Marvel universe, and I'm just generally really excited to read this again and just get really into like the Kree-Skrull War and just enjoy all of this gorgeous artwork again and just watch all these big battles and all the rest of it and just get excited about a massive event again and just write all of the blog posts on it because that's what I do. Either way, very excited, if slightly nervous for this one because, like I said, it was a 3-star read, but I'm probably going to give it a higher rating this time because, obviously, I know a bit more now. And then finally there is also Saladin Ahmed's Spider-Man, which is the Miles Morales run that I was reading a few years ago, and then I deliberately stopped reading it around volume 5, I think it was. A, because I wasn't buying comics or trying to sort of lower my comic buying, and B, because I have been deliberately waiting for Across the Spider-Verse Part 1 to come out. Now it is coming out on June 1st. I've booked in to see it on June 1st actually. It's coming out on June 2nd, but for some reason the UK is showing it on June 1st. I'm not complaining. It means I get to see it a day early. Either way, I'm going to be like mainlining all things Spider-Verse, and that is going to include rereading Saladin Ahmed's Miles Morales. I'm so excited to read this because I really enjoy this series, so I cannot wait to read it again and continue on with this and just be back in Miles' world and see Miles as Spider-Man, all the rest of it. I'm also going to be trying to reread Spider-Geddon and things like this as well because I think that's going to be really relevant. I haven't come up with my full TBR, but those are the ones that I am going to be definitely trying to read, and they are also going to be rereads for me, which is obviously relevant for this video. But I think that's about it in terms of what I want to reread. I obviously could mention Good Omens here, but that's a given that I'm going to be rereading Good Omens when Series 2 comes out because obviously I am. But I think that's about it in terms of what I'm going to be rereading. I can't think of anything else that I'm specifically like, yes, I want to reread that right now. And I think, to be honest, that's enough to be getting on with when I'm also trying to bring down this whole TBR. So with that, I'm going to leave this video here. So I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please do give me a thumbs up. Comment down below, tell me a book you really want to reread. I'd love to know. Or if you don't have that much time, leave me a bird emoji down below to let me know that you were here. I'll also leave a link as well down below to all of my social media if you want to check it out, including to the comic book sanctum, which is going to be filled with all things Spider-Verse and also Secret Invasion and all of that good stuff in the coming months if you're interested in that, as well as a link down below as well to my Etsy store that sells bookish merch like this Crow Club t-shirt if you're interested. And if you want to see any more of my videos, please click subscribe here, and over here will be the link to my previous video. But until next time everyone, bye!